Hey, Brandy Nelson with Century 21 Signature Real Estate and the Brandy Nelson Real Estate team. So today we are on to lesson number 8 in our listing video series. And today we're going to talk about interviewing an agent. Trying to take a very wide look at this for you guys. Some of you I know may be considering going for sale by owner, which is totally fine. Use this information, put it to your best use. I would say if you're doing the for sale by owner, just listen to at least some of the items that I talk about in choosing a realtor and think about some of the items that you're going to need to do and be prepared to do, or even think about in the listing, in getting your house listed process. So interviewing agents, need to start thinking about who you want to represent you and your property. There's so many different ways of going about this. Referrals. Ask your friends and family who they've used, who they like, who they heard about. But please take that information with a grain of salt. If you call great Aunt Betty who lives in California and sold her house 20 years ago, her idea of who would be great to use might be a little different than what you probably should do. If you have friends who have recently gone through the process, see what they say, see what they like, see what they didn't like. Ask if they interviewed any other agents or how they picked that person. Online reviews. We definitely live in an online world now. Google, Zillow, just about every website possible has a review system. I know Century 21, I do a lot of Google reviews, Zillow reviews. Real Satisfied is the company that Century 21 corporate uses. If you are thinking about an agent, I would ask them for some testimonials from clients. And if that agent can provide you a testimonial from a client that has the contact information of that person, that's huge. You know, if you can actually talk to a buyer or seller who has worked with that agent, then you can ask them questions and really get a feel for the type of person. Agents, there's so much that agents can and should do for you. A market analysis. A good agent should come take a look at your home. Hopefully you have done all or most of the items in the first part of our video series. But that agent should go through your house, look at your house, look at the physical properties of your house, you know, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and do a market analysis for you. They'll also give you ideas of things that they'd like you to change or think you should think about changing. They'll also give you an estimate of proceeds. Estimate of proceeds, there's commission is always on there. Some of the fees that we can't get around, there's county fees, there are recording and document fees. If we have to overnight or wire transfer any of your funds, there's some fees that go with that. But definitely, you know, every agent is different, every company is a little bit different. So you want to see an estimate of proceeds. You want to see that agent's market analysis and see what they think your house is worth, and really pay attention to how they came up with that number. Are they using properties that are currently on the market that haven't sold, or are they using sales that were in the last few months of properties that have actually sold and are good comparables to your property? That makes a huge difference. You know, a lot of times I will go see a seller and we'll talk about their property, and they say, well, you know, so-and-so down the street is asking $400,000 for their house. Yes, that's very true. That house also hasn't sold. So you can ask $1 million for a property that's only worth $200,000. It all depends on what it actually sells for. I put a lot more weight in properties that are comparable that have sold within the last 2 to 3 months. So really take a good look at where that agent is getting their information, what they're using as comparables, and how they actually come up with that number. Pricing is a huge part of what agents do and what sells a property. We can all say price doesn't matter, but price matters. If I price a home at $100, I'm going to have a whole lot of people interested in it, and it will sell. Don't care what it looks like. Buyers are extremely well educated right now. They've been watching the news. They know that our market crashed. They don't want to get in over their heads, and they don't want, they're very cognizant of not doing anything wrong. So they know they probably have a better idea what properties are worth than sellers do. Sellers, I love you to death, but you have lived in your home, you have fallen in love with your home, and you think that your home is better and different than anybody else's home. And it might be, but there is still a price on your house. If we overprice your property, people just won't come look. Or you'll get a few lookers and you will get low ball offers. Neither of which I think are a good strategy. If we price your property right, or even slightly below what it should sell at, we should get a lot of traffic, we should get a lot of offers, and drive up the price with demand. All things we can talk about later, but keep in mind price. And the moral of that story is at least look at and be very aware of where the agents that you interview, where they're getting their market information from. The agent's track record. How many homes do they sell? Do they sell in your area? If you have an acreage, do they sell a lot of acreages? I'm not saying there's some really, really good new agents out there. Just be aware of what they've done. Have they been in the market for 40 years and only sell 10 houses a year? Are they selling 200 houses a year? Do they have the support staff to support selling that much? Sometimes it's good they sell a lot. Sometimes it's better that they don't sell as many. So just be aware. It's just another one of those things to look at and really know what you're getting into. Marketing packages. Holy cow, can we get into a whole nother discussion on marketing? Online marketing, print marketing, down to your yard sign, open houses. My marketing list is about 40 things. I think the biggest thing is for you to know going into it what you're going to get and what you can expect. Look for an agent who actually has a marketing plan, not somebody who just says, oh yeah, we do a lot of marketing, or we do a lot of online stuff. I think you should actually see a plan, see that they have something laid out, see that they have some different items. Not every buyer is on the internet. There's definitely an age break where that becomes very common, but it's not for everybody. Print advertising, we're seeing that actually come back quite a bit. Does your agent do open houses? Is that something that they believe in? Do they do one open house? Do they do 10? I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. Just know what you're getting into and know what you should expect from your agent. Commission. That's always kind of an ugly one. I truly believe you get what you pay for. if money is your only concern, then you definitely want to look at that. But just remember that your commission, your price, some of those things, if you don't have a good plan with those, if your house sits on the market for a while, you've got holding costs as a seller. You're still making mortgage payments and utility payments. You're delaying purchasing a new home or moving to a new area. You're just putting all your dreams and wants on hold. Commission is something you can definitely talk about with your agent. I would, like I said, it's kind of a volatile item. Everybody does something different. Just know what you're getting for that price. I wouldn't say that the lowest commission is always the best, but I guess you need to know what your driving factors are. If selling your property in 2 to 3 weeks is the most important thing for you, look for an agent that has a very aggressive marketing plan and can aggressively market your house and price your house. If you want to overprice your house and have an agent that takes minimal commission, they're probably not going to put their whole out effort into getting your home sold in the next 2 to 3 weeks because they know it's overpriced. You've got to really weigh those items. Your drive, your agent's drive, and what they are going to do for you can make a huge difference on how fast your home does or doesn't sell. The MLS, multiple listing service. Almost all active agents are members of a multiple listing service, commonly called the MLS. It's what we as agents, where we see properties, we cooperate with other agents and agencies. I'm with Century 21. Somebody from RE/MAX lists a house, I can still show that house. If any of the other Keller Williams, any of the other agencies, we all list our properties on the multiple listing service on the MLS. Then a lot of us use an app, a system called Showing Time, which makes scheduling showings super easy. It's a computer-based program. I can go in and request a showing on your house tomorrow at 10 a.m. You get a notice either by text or email or both, and then you can say yes or no. I get it back and says yes, good to go at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Most of us have Bluetooth wireless keys to lock boxes with outside your house so that we can get in and out. Those two things, between the lock boxes and Showing Time, it keeps track of who is in and out of your house. It also reminds agents to send feedback after they've shown your house. Good, bad, or ugly, I'm going to send you whatever that agent says about your house. If their client is in, or it asks if their client is interested, do they think the price is right, and any comments about the house. Sometimes, it's good feedback, sometimes it's not, but like I said, good, bad, or ugly, you're going to get whatever they send me. But it does prompt them for that too. We have to, when we fill out the listing paperwork with a seller, that has to be turned into the multiple listing service within 24 hours so that we have a good cooperation system. I'm not holding on to properties for sale that another agent doesn't know about. The good thing is that we do all cooperate, and if you have an agent that you're working with, they can see other people's properties, they know what's coming up, and can pass that on to you. Agents, again, like I said, look at their reviews and their history, get a good feel. A lot of times, we just looked at some statistics the other day. think it was somewhere in the 70-ish% of sellers only interview one agent and end up going with that, which I think is a huge reminder of our online social world that we live in. You can know a lot about your agent, what they do, where they work, how they market their properties. You can know a lot of that information before you even interview that agent, which I think makes you much more comfortable with just choosing that one agent. If you do decide to interview several agents, I would suggest telling those agents that you're interviewing more than one. And tell your agent, whether you're interviewing 1 or 10, tell them what's most important to you. Do you need a lot of information? Do you want to sell this house in 1 week, or are you okay with it maybe taking 3 to 4 months? Make sure they know what your driving factors are. If you are worried about selling this house and buying another one at the same time, just make sure that that agent has the information that they need to serve you best. We try really, really hard, but we do not have a good crystal ball system yet. I try to foresee what my clients are going to need, and what, if anything might come up, but I don't always know everything that client has going on unless they tell me. We are counselors. We're here to help and serve you, but we can only work with as much information as we have. So please tell us everything that you possibly can, that you think we might need to know, and don't withhold anything major, or that will really, really mess up our system. But yeah, so that's the thing. Interview agents. Pick a good company, pick a good agent. Make sure you look at their history, look at some of their online reviews, ask for testimonials, look over that market analysis. Make sure you take into consideration where the comparables they used, where those came from, if they are good comparables, if they are recent sales. And look at what that agent offers. Do they do a lot of online marketing? Do they do a variety of marketing? If open houses are important to you, make sure you ask about that. There's a whole, I could go on for hours about interviewing and picking out an agent. Another big one. How are they going to communicate with you? How often are they going to communicate with you? We've got some reports that are automatic that I can set up, that at least give you an idea, how many times have people looked at your house on Zillow, on Realtor.com. Century 21 has some great tracking information. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but I think it's good if you're a person who needs and wants a lot of communication. Make sure you tell your agent that, and make sure you find out what they offer, and how often are you going to talk to them, or at least get a text or email from them with updates. So that's a pretty broad overview of interviewing and picking out an agent, but hopefully that helps. If you need information, obviously we would love to be the agent that you talk to, pick, or interview. But yeah, I'm always here to help, and I can get you a good long list of things I think you should ask your agent and go from there. If there's anything that we can do for you, please reach out, and I'll be back tomorrow with some more information and another video. Have a great day.